Today I am going to narrate the story A Slip of the Tongue, written by F.E.B. Gray. F.E.B. Gray has written many fairy tales, Indian and Eastern mythological and folk stories in English. His well-known works are Indian Tales and Legends, Tales from Japan, Tales from India, etc. This particular story is adapted from Indian Tales and Legends. Let's begin with the story. In a certain village, there was a poor and stupid Brahman named Harisharman. As he was very poor, he wandered about with his family, begging for alms, and he came in due course to a city and entered into the service of a very rich man named Stuldatta. He made his sons cowherds, while his wife did the housework, and he himself lived near the house and carried messages. One day, the wedding of Stuldatta's daughter took place and was attended by numerous relatives and crowded by processions. On this occasion, Harisharman hoped to eat his fill of ghee and meat and other things, together with his family. Yet, while he was hoping for this event, nobody seemed to remember him. Failing to get any food, he spoke to his wife one night. "Such a lack of importance on my part here is due to my poverty and stupidity. Therefore, I must pretend to be intelligent by means of some trick or other, and so make myself worthy of Stuldatta's respect. When a chance arises, therefore, you must tell him that I am an intelligent person." This he said to her, and then thinking over the matter in his mind, while everyone was asleep, he took from Stuldatta's house the horse upon which the son-in-law rode. He then concealed it, tying it some distance away. The next morning, although the bridegroom's family searched all over the place, they did not find the horse. Then Harisharman's wife approached Stuldatta, who was disturbed at this misfortune and was seeking the horse thief, and said to him, "My husband is very wise and skilled in science such as astrology. He will get your horse for you. Why do you not consult him?" When Stuldatta heard this, Harisharman was summoned and said to him, "Yesterday I was overlooked, but today, now that the horse has been stolen, I am remembered." Stuldatta then placated the Brahman, saying to him, "Please forgive us, but please tell us who has taken our horse away." Harisharman then drew some lines on paper and said, "The thieves have tied the horse on the boundary south from here. It is standing hidden and will not be taken away until the end of the day. So go quickly and bring it back." When they heard that, several men ran off at once, and finding the horse, they brought it back, praising Harisharman's knowledge. After that, everyone paid respect to Harisharman as a knowledgeable fellow, and he lived comfortably, being honored by Stuldatta. As the days passed by, a considerable amount of treasure, consisting of gold and jewels and other things, was stolen somehow or other by a thief from the king's palace. When the thief was not discovered, the king, who was well known for his wisdom, had Harisharman speedily summoned. He, when he was brought along, began playing for time, and being worried as to how he might find out, said, I will tell you in the morning. He was placed in a bedroom by the king and carefully guarded. Now, there was a maid servant in the king's household called Jiva, which means tongue, and it was she, together with her brother, who had taken away the treasure from inside the palace. She was very worried about Harisharman's knowledge, and so, in order to find out what she could, she went along in the night to his room and put her ear to the door. At that moment, Harisharman, all alone inside, was blaming his own tongue for boasting about his pretended knowledge. Tongue, what have you done? Out of greed for enjoyment, wicked wretch, you must now endure imprisonment here. When the maidservant Jiva heard this, she thought in terror that she had been found out by the knowledgeable fellow. So, by means of a trick, she got inside the room to him, and falling at his feet, she said to that supposedly wise man, Brahman, I am that Jiva, the tongue, known by you to have taken the treasure. When I took it, I buried the money in the ground in the garden at the back of the building here underneath a palm tree. Therefore, protect me and take this piece of gold which I have in my hand. When he heard this, Harisharman said to her, Go! I know all past and future as well as present. I will not, however, expose you to punishment since you have come to me asking for help, but you must return to me everything that you have kept. The maidservant agreed speedily to what had been said to her, and swiftly took her leave. Harisharman then thought to himself, in astonishment, Fate has accomplished a thing which seemed impossible. For now, when disaster was at hand, the affair has been settled unexpectedly for me. The thief Jiva has fallen down in front of me while I was blaming my own tongue. Hidden misdeeds come to light, it seems, through guilty feelings. So, thinking like this, he passed the night very pleased with himself. The next morning, pretending to be wise man again, he led the king into the garden and got out for him the treasure which had been buried there, but told him that the thief had escaped, taking part of it with him. At this, the king was delighted and proceeded to give him many villages. Then a minister confided in the king, How could an ordinary man achieve such wisdom? Surely this fellow carries a ruse existence by being in league with thieves. So let him be tested once more by some trick or other. The king, therefore, had a new jar brought which was covered over, which had a frog inside it, and he said to Harisharman, If you can find out what is inside this jar, I will give you a big reward. When he heard this, he thought his hour of destruction was at hand. But he remembered his own nickname, Frog, which his father had playfully given him in his childhood, and he began to lament about himself. Truly indeed, Frog, this jar has appeared here to destroy you in your weakness. When the people heard this and assumed he meant the object which had been presented to him, they shouted out with cries of, "What a great sage! He has found out the frog." The king then was pleased with Harisharman, and thinking he had remarkable insight, gave him villages together with gold, wagons, and an umbrella as a symbol of power. And at once Harisharman was turned into a very rich man.